Most entrepreneurs build businesses that never make a single dollar. They spend months perfecting logos, websites, business cards, while completely neglecting the only activity that matters, selling and making money. Even great products and services fail daily because their creators can't or will not sell them effectively. Without these sales skills, your brilliant idea becomes nothing more than an expensive hobby draining your time and your savings. But the thing is, anyone can learn to sell effectively, even those of you that are saying, I can't do it. I've trained thousands of business owners who initially hated sales to becoming confident closers that made sales for their business. And in this video, I'm going to show you the exact system I use to go from zero to consistent sales in my businesses without natural sales talent or any real connections. So where does effective selling really start? Most business owners rush straight to expensive pitches and closing techniques and a bunch of unnecessary nonsense that they're not ready for. And I know this because I wasted ages doing exactly that and couldn't understand why nobody bought anything from me. But honestly, this single factor determines whether prospects trust you enough to buy from you or not. Look, countless agencies can't clearly explain what they sell or why someone should buy it from them and not from someone else. This creates instant distrust with potential customers and they end up not closing. So the first step to selling successfully involves knowing your offer completely, inside and out, backwards and forwards, every little nuance, everything. I mean, this means understanding every detail of how it works, who it helps the most, its limitations, and the specific problems that it solves. For me, when I started selling SEO services, I spent a ton of time thinking, plotting, preparing before even attempting my first sale. But what you need to really do is practice explaining your offer until it becomes second nature to you. For example, you could try standing in front of a mirror and pitching your service for 5 minutes straight without pausing or having to stop. You can also record yourself and listen back to yourself on the recording, or even ask your friends to challenge you with tough questions that a prospect might ask. This level of preparation eliminates nervousness during actual sales conversations because you already did it. You already know what to say. You've eliminated that unknown. So the goal isn't memorizing a script, but developing such deep product knowledge that you can speak confidently in any situation about your offer, your product, your service, your business. Your confidence in the offer directly affects whether prospects trust you or not. And when you explain your solution with absolute certainty, prospects mirror that confidence and trust your expertise. The question now is probably what happens once you truly know your offer. And at this point, you know your offer inside and out, but that knowledge alone won't convince prospects to buy from you. When I started, I found I was losing a bunch of deals because the only proof I had to show clients was a few affiliate sites that used to rank. Clients do not trust promises. They need clear evidence your solution delivers results. And nothing kills sales faster than making claims without evidence. Customers today are skeptical, and rightfully so. There's a lot of frauds and scams and con men and people who mean well but aren't able to deliver out there. And because of that, you need concrete proof that your solution delivers results. If you've successfully helped clients in the past, just document everything you did meticulously. Take screenshots of results, record their video testimonials, save before and after comparisons, and so on. For example, if you're selling SEO services, this might mean sharing your ranking screenshots, your traffic increases, or lead generation stats, or whatever you did that made them happy and got them results. But if you're new and you lack results, create them immediately. Offer your service for free to 1 to 3 ideal clients in exchange for you using their details as a detailed case study and testimonials to use in your future sales. This approach accomplishes 2 critical things. You gain the experience that you need, and you actually build a portfolio simultaneously. So now you have some sales material. And when you're working with these initial clients, again, document the entire process. Take extensive notes, record their calls with their permissions, capture all the metrics you can, and so on. Be transparent with these clients about your experience level while demonstrating your commitment to their success. There's no reason to lie to them. Tell them you're new and you're just getting started and you need to do this. The results from these initial products become your sales ammunition. And for physical products, consider creating demonstration videos showing your product solving real problems. The key with any proof is specificity. Vague claims about improved results don't convince anyone. It does not work. You have to include concrete numbers, specific challenges overcome, and detailed implementation stories. But now you may be wondering, where do you find your first customers? Most people immediately waste money on ads or just randomly cold call businesses. And trust me, you can burn through savings doing exactly that while ignoring the gold mine that's sitting right in front of your face. Your existing connections hold more opportunity than some experts realize. Look, the fastest way to find your first customers costs absolutely nothing, and it's systemically working through your existing connections. New entrepreneurs like to skip this step because it feels uncomfortable asking people they know for business, or they think they don't know anybody. They end up wasting months trying to find complete strangers to buy from them while ignoring hundreds of potential warm leads right in front of them. My first client, for example, was someone I got because I asked a photographer friend if she had any other photographer friends that might need SEO. She said yes, and that turned into my first client and case study. So start by creating a simple announcement post on all your social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever else you use. Clearly state what business you've started, who specifically it helps, and what problem it solves. Ask directly for introductions to people who might need your solution to their problem. The wording matters. Don't ask if they need your service. Ask if they know someone who might. It reduces the pressure and just makes sharing easier. Look, after posting publicly, send individual messages to everyone in your contact list. Yeah, everyone from close friends to acquaintances, everybody. Customize each message slightly to be specific to them and be specific about who you're looking to help. Create a simple spreadsheet to track everyone you contact and their responses so you know who to follow up with. Your existing network also includes professional connections, former colleagues, classmates, and even service providers you interact with regularly. Like, for example, the barista who makes your overpriced coffee might have a brother needing exactly what you offer. So what happens when you exhaust your personal network? The average business owner panics and either stops selling or resorts to pushy tactics. I nearly gave up when my initial connections dried up as well. But the sustainable approach requires daily action that these business owners tend to avoid completely. Expanding your prospect pool requires putting yourself in environments where you're uncomfortable, but potential clients gather. Again, the key is consistency. Sporadic networking produces sporadic results, and we want consistent results that are going to get us paid. So start with formal networking opportunities in your area. Join your local chamber of commerce. If you can get in, join a BNI, it's a business group. Find industry-specific meetups through meetup.com. Research professional associations relevant to your targets. These structured environments, they tend to provide like better built-in opportunities to introduce yourself and your business. But while you're attending, don't immediately try to start selling to people. Just make connections and get to know people rather than immediately trying to sell them. That'll be really off-putting to people. So instead, ask questions about others' businesses and listen for problems that they have that you might be able to solve. For less formal opportunities, establish daily habits that put you around potential clients. Like something as simple as working from the same coffee shop every morning creates familiarity with regular patrons and the people that work there. Create a regular lunch schedule at restaurants your ideal clients frequent and get to know everybody there. You can also join like recreational leagues, fitness classes, community organizations where you'll naturally meet new people. Basically just get out of your house. Online communities also provide networking opportunities. Though these do take a little longer to develop, but you can join Facebook groups, LinkedIn communities, Slack groups, forums, whatever it is where your ideal clients seek advice, you need to be there. Contribute valuable content consistently before even mentioning your services. Just be helpful and be known. But you might be asking what happens during actual sales conversations. Many service providers memorize scripts and immediately launch into pitches, and that doesn't work. I lost dozens of early opportunities making this exact mistake. The counterintuitive approach to top performers use contradicts everything that typical sales training teaches. For example, cold outreach remains one of the most effective ways to generate leads when it's done correctly. And yeah, the key word there is correctly. People use approaches that immediately mark themselves as spammers or salespeople or just someone that people don't want to work with or be around. So what you should do instead is start with identifying exactly who benefits most from your solution. So for example, for local businesses, you can use tools like Google Maps that provide contact information for targeted outreach, or you can use things for specialized industries like LinkedIn, which offers powerful filtering options to find the right people. And then once you've identified prospects, research each one individually before reaching out. That's going to take longer, but it's going to make you convert better, and that's what matters. When you talk to them, reference specific details about their business in your initial contact so they know that you've taken the time. This small effort dramatically improves response rates. For cold emails, keep initial messages short, focused on the prospect's challenges rather than your solution. My effective cold emails contain 3 sentences: one acknowledging something specific about their business, one identifying a common problem in their industry, and one asking if they'd like to discuss solutions. For social media outreach, connection comes before selling. A lot of people get this wrong, but what you should do is engage with prospects' content for a couple of weeks before sending a direct message at all. What this does is warms the relationship up and increases response rates significantly. And believe it or not, cold calling still works when you approach it properly too. Prepare a simple script addressing common objections and practice extensively before making calls so you don't sound like a moron when you get someone on the phone. And also expect rejection. Understand it's part of the process, and even experienced salespeople typically connect with only 10 to 15% of their cold calls. Tools can help scale these efforts too while maintaining the personalization. For example, I have a software called Legiit Leads that helps identify targeted prospects meeting certain specific criteria, providing email addresses and phone numbers. And if you want a discount on that, message me directly and I can hook you up. Finding prospects solves only half the equation. You still need to convert conversations into sales. The uncomfortable truth about selling is this: your first attempts are probably going to fail. Everyone starts as a novice, a beginner, whatever you want to call it. I know I bombed my first dozen or so sales calls completely, but each conversation taught valuable lessons and I got a little bit better. The fastest way to improve through this or anything else really is deliberate, intentional practice. Record yourself role-playing sales conversations with friends, family, colleagues, whoever. Use these recordings to identify improvement areas. Just like somebody in football watches their game tape, watch your own game tape. Script your opening, your key questions, and your closes, but avoid sounding robotic. Try to talk like a human being. When people start doing sales or outreach, they try to talk robotic and repetitive, and they don't talk the same way they would talk to their friends or their family or their colleagues or whatever. They almost become non-human, and it just doesn't work. The most important sales skill isn't talking, it's listening. During conversations, aim to listen 70% of the time while speaking only 30%, and maybe even that's too much. And then ask open-ended questions that reveal your prospect's challenges. Stuff like, what's been your biggest challenge with getting new clients? Or how's this affected your business? Things like that. Their answers will provide you exactly what you need to position your solution effectively. And then when objections arise, they'll avoid becoming defensive. Instead, acknowledge their concern, ask clarifying questions, and address the underlying issue to those problems. For example, if price becomes an objection, don't immediately offer a discount. Instead, ask something like, besides price, is there anything preventing us from moving forward today? That often reveals the real concern. You'll always end your conversations with a clear next step or call to action, whether that's signing a contract, scheduling another call, providing additional information, whatever it is. Always have something to do, a next action. What separates successful entrepreneurs from those who struggle for years? Some people endlessly prepare and research without taking action. I've watched countless talented business owners fail while waiting to feel ready. The uncomfortable reality successful business owners embrace makes all the difference. Look, I've seen too many potential entrepreneurs trapped in preparation mode, endlessly learning about sales without actually doing it. The steps I've outlined today, knowing your offer completely, gathering proof, tapping your network, meeting new prospects daily, implementing systematic outreach, and developing sales skills through practice, can be implemented immediately. I want you to start today by documenting everything about your offer. And then tomorrow, I want you to reach out to 50 people in your network. And then by the end of the week, I want you to attend a networking event and make 25 cold calls. This is how you're going to get started. The fundamental truth about selling is that imperfect action beats perfect planning every single time. My first sales weren't pretty, but they fueled the business that eventually grew to 7 and 8 figures. Remember that sales skills improve with repetition and doing the reps and putting in the time. Each conversation makes you a little bit better than the last. And if you want some deeper sales training, people like Grant Cardone, Jordan Belfort, and Alex Hormozi provide valuable techniques, great books, great content, but nothing replaces actual selling experience. Now, in our next video, we'll cover how to scale your business once you've established consistent sales, including hiring, systems, and leveraging technology to multiply your efforts. Look, if you've spent money on fancy sales training, didn't deliver results, share your experience in the comments. I bet there's more of us than you realize, and maybe it'll make you feel a little bit better about where you are. Your story might save someone else from making the same expensive mistakes that I and others have made. And if you found these practical selling strategies helpful, don't miss our next video on scaling your business after you've established consistent sales.